Good morning and welcome to this week's video. I'm really excited that you are joining me today. Today I am out here in Germanton at the Horizons Park. And it's a really cool little city park. It's part of Forsyth County Parks and Recreation, but they have some hiking trails. And so I've never been here before, so this is my first time doing these trails. But there's two loop trails, Loop A and Loop B. But I'm really excited to do some photography and that you're coming with me. It is very overcast today, and because we are early June, there are lots of leaves in the trees and on the floor there's lots of plant life. So it is kind of fairly dark under the tree canopy inside the forest. So I'm anticipating I'm going to be rocking some pretty high ISOs because I'm going to be probably doing lots of handheld. I do have my tripod with me, so I may break that out. So I would anticipate my ISO being around 800 to maybe even 1000. So, and some slower shutter speeds, and probably some wide open apertures to bring in as much light as possible. So that is what I'm kind of anticipating for my camera settings. Like I said, I have never been here before, so I don't know what we're gonna find. There could be some bridges, there could be some water. I honestly have no idea. So that is what we're gonna do today, is gonna take some photography and take some photos and see what we find along the trail. So anyways, without further delay, we're just gonna continue on down the trail. So I wanted to just quickly kind of talk about when you're taking photos like of trails and you're hiking along and stuff, and there's leading lines everywhere because you're following a trail. And so, but I wanted to point out what it was about this particular spot that made me actually want to stop and break out my tripod. And what it was is, I'll actually walk forward here, is this arching tree. It kind of arches over. So there's like two different trees. You have an arch coming this direction, and then you have another tree arching this direction. So just kind of make this nice little circular motion over the top of the trail. And so I think that just made for a really nice composition of having that arch as the trail kind of meanders off into the distance. And so when I was walking, that is what caught my eye. And I knew I wanted to take a good photo of this. And so I did break out the tripod. And so my settings are ISO 250, aperture is 6.3, and then my shutter speed is 1/8 of a second. So definitely way too slow for me to handheld with getting it a nice sharp photo. So I'm probably going to take a couple other photos here, just maybe zooming in and out with my focal length, but I am doing it at portrait, just because I wanted to get more of the trail and not so much off of the trail and stuff. So anyways, I just wanted to talk about real quick what about this shot and this frame that caught my eye and why I decided to break out the tripod. So anyways, gonna snap a couple more photos and then we'll kind of continue on. All right, so we're getting close to where the beginning of the trail is and where our car's parked. And as we were walking, we were in the forest, and I just saw this little trail that is just kind of like, oh, it looks like it's going out to a big, huge like pasture area, which it did. But what was more amazing is this giant American holly tree that's growing in the middle of this pasture. This thing is so impressive. I don't know if I've ever seen an American holly tree this big, but it was so cool. I've taken several photos of it. There's some great branching habits that's going on. Let's walk underneath here. This branching habit right there is so cool. I really love it. So I snapped some photos of this particular tree, along with some close-ups of the carvings that are in the tree. I don't like when people carve in trees because you are inviting diseases or insect infestations when you carve in trees, but it does make for some interesting photos. So I grabbed some photos of some of the carvings within the tree, but this is just a really cool like open pasture. There's another tree over there that's really big that I really like too. But yeah, so American holly tree, ginormous, huge. I love it. So I'm really excited to kind of edit those photos. Actually, I really kind of like this angle. Might have to take a photo from this particular angle, but before I head out. But I thought this would be a great time to go ahead and kind of wrap up this week's video. So my thoughts on the trail first. I really like Loop A. I don't necessarily like Loop B. The trail was fine. Loop B, it was definitely hillier and stuff, which is fine, but from a photography standpoint, I didn't really love it as much. The trail was more narrow as opposed to it was wider on Loop A, and Loop A just was a little bit more picturesque in my opinion. So I definitely plan on coming back here because it's only like a 14-minute drive from my house, so it's really easy to get to. I would love to come back here in the fall to photograph this trail because I think it was just absolutely stunning. I did see a lot of eastern redbuds, so this could be a good trail in early spring, like in March and stuff when the eastern redbuds are blooming. But definitely want to come back here in the fall to do some photography because I think it'll be absolutely stunning. If we happen to get any snow, I could come out here and take some photos of the American holly tree because it will still have its green, since it's an evergreen, it will still have leaves on it. So it was a good trip to come out, scout for future times. This and heavy fog would be amazing. So definitely lots of photography potential at the Horizons Park. So definitely plan on coming out. So anyways, photos wise, I think I got a couple good photos within the trail, and then I think I got some good photos of this holly. And there's a couple bridges that were kind of part of Loop B that I took some photos of. There's probably at least one good one of a bridge that you probably have already seen. So, but yeah, so definitely a good hike out this morning to come and take some photos. So anyways, yeah. Thank you guys so much for watching. I hope that you enjoyed this photography adventure. If you did, please consider giving this video a thumbs up and sharing it with your friends and family. If you have not yet subscribed to my channel, I really hope that you do so you can continue to come along on my photography adventures. Anyways, you guys have a fantastic rest of your day. We'll see you guys next time. Take care. Bye.